13 past. I'm Common. He's 10 to be. Excited and delighted to be joined by the legendary one, Mark Rosen, formerly of Channel 4 Sports. Is your whole life just sports fame. He's convalescing at his home. He joins us via StreamYard, or as we like to call it, Knee Yard. How are you, me boy?
Oh, hanging in there, Common. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah.
2 weeks out from surgery now, from the total knee replacement surgery. I had a very aggressive physical therapy session over TCO. He dined yesterday. And
you did?
Yeah. Meet over there once a week, do my other exercises at home twice a day. But my knee was barking at me pretty good today. I know they probably didn't like new knee probably didn't like what I did to it yesterday. So a lot of ice, a lot of rest, and trying to just kind of listen to my body a little bit. And but the thing is, literally making strides. So that's all that matters. It's a long haul. It's just, step by step, and that's all you can do. And I've been through it before, and I'm going to get better again. And that's got to have a positive attitude. That's 90% of it. So you get knocked down a lot. I talked to a lot of good friends who've had this thing before, and it can knock you out for a while. And it's just you got to have a good attitute about it.
Well, I've never met anybody with a better attitude than you, Mark.
I don't know about that.
No, it's true. Your attitude is
well, maybe my wife might disagree at this point, but I'm doing pretty well. She's been great coach. Great to have someone in your corner the way she's been.
And my guess is she drove you to TCO yesterday.
She did,
because you can't drive yourself.
No, I cannot. I'm probably, probably almost 2 weeks away, but hopefully less than that. But I have to, perfect that, that simple little thing we don't even think about by lifting my foot up from the gas pedal to the brake. Kind of the things that's kind of necessary.
Can you relearn that, do you think?
I don't know. This could be interesting. I mean, you need one of those self-driving cars. I don't know, but I'll give it a shot. I'll be hopefully ready before Vikings training camp. So that's all that matters.
Did you watch World Cup soccer last night? The United States facing Belgium?
Every minute of it. Yeah, every minute of it.
You didn't give up?
No, of course I'm giving up. Of course. Realizing what was happening, it was almost like watching 41 Donut. I mean, it was over. Right after the first drive, as they say in football, but the USA.
That's the description I gave it. I said it was. I started the show by asking Teneby. Teneby he wasn't alive when the Vikings lost four big games in a row. I said, well, watching last night's game, you would know exactly what it felt like to watch the Vikings, is because they were never in the game. Even when it was 1-1, I never felt like they had trouble completing a simple pass. They couldn't dribble it. The goaltender was having all sorts of trouble. They're just, I think, and what I had said was, and I don't know if you agree with this, all the talking heads in the soccer community were trying to convince everybody that we have now finally gotten to the point where we can play with the big kids. That we're on the verge of becoming a bona fide challenger for World Cup supremacy. And from what I saw last night, there's not anything further from the truth than that. They were completely outplayed last night by Belgium.
Well, I don't know who's saying that. I listened to a lot of the talking heads as well, but they're light years away still from getting to that point. This is
you didn't hear those people saying that? No, I'm talking about leading up to that. I'm not saying after that.
I was watching I'm talking
about the days and the weeks leading up, the days and weeks and all this time, and during those first three wins we had. All we heard was the people, and I think they want the United States to become a dominant World Cup team, that they convinced themselves that they were, that it was wonderful, we're dominating, we're great. You were in a terrible pool. You had the pool you were in were three really mediocre teams.
Correct.
You're just not that good, and that doesn't make us bad. People, just means we have a long way to go in soccer, I think.
Well, it's the same old story. It's a threshold they haven't really been able to get past. That's getting past this round, getting into the quarterfinals has not been something the U.S. team has been able to do. And, Belgium's got a nice team, a really nice team, but they're not one of the powerhouse teams in the world.
No.
And that's maybe they took it personally. I don't know how much the Balogun situation affected them, the reversal, the suspension and all that went on. But, playing in, that soccer mad area in Seattle, the U.S. had everything going for them last night. And what's their favorite term? They came out flat. They came out and got stomped right away. Their defense was leaky. Their goaltending is, again, this guy was an MLS goalie, does not have the international experience, and he made big blunder, I think, on the second goal. But Belgium just looked a lot more poised. The U.S. had trouble. I mean, Pulisic, whatever his name is, he's been out to lunch. He's either been hurt or ineffective. And, the U.S. got fortunate. I think the ball went off the free kick that they scored a goal on went off the head of one of the defenders from Belgium and went careened into the net. But other than that, they really didn't have, a wing and a prayer last night. And they got it. They found their place. And that's kind of where their ceiling is right now, is in getting to the final 16, but after that, no. I mean, I watched Argentina and Messi today, and I know some controversy. There's always controversy in these matches, but Argentina came down. They were losing 2-0 in the 79th minute, and they ended up winning in regulation. So Messi's still a magician with the ball at 38, and you can just see when you watch the skill level of that team, and you wonder why they're the defending champs, and there's some other teams that we're still watching as well. And that's not to take anything away from where the U.S. is, but this is kind of people have to do a deep dive, and I'm not going to do it right now. I don't know of all the in between why we have so many people that play the sport. Maybe it starts at the youth level. Maybe the money situation's not as right, the way that we charge families so much money to play in these leagues. And I don't know what it is, but you think you'd find more players that can play at that international level. And they do. Some of them play, obviously, in English Premier League and everything else. But as a country representing the U.S. in the World Cup, what we saw last night is kind of like, that's it. That's a reminder. That's our ceiling right now. Not that it can't change. But that's it. Again, a reminder that it doesn't matter. You're never going to have better circumstances. You're right, Common. Playing at home, 70,000 fans in Seattle. Everyone's going crazy. USA, USA. And then 5 minutes into the match, it's like, man, this thing kind of feels like it's over already.
Well, I think the bad break for the United States, and Tenemy, maybe you can confirm this, is it was a sunny day in Seattle. And so the crowd noise generated by the pro-American fans did not stay close to the field level, because when there's cloud cover, it's the loudest stadium in the world. When there's it's like any other stadium, and I think that was a disadvantage. You're getting accused of stealing Hockey's take. It says,
Hockey?
OMG.
How would I listen to Chris Hockey?
Well, because you listen to the radio station all the time. It says, OMG, Rosie referencing 41 Donut is a direct ripoff of Hockey from this morning. So he compared to 41 Donut, and you did as well. You stole Hockey's take.
Okay, let me ask that question of that emailer. Do you think for 1 second I was awake at whatever time that was this morning? Do you think the first thing I was going to do is put on listen to the radio on my phone or something? No, I haven't listened to Power Trip in weeks.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Believe it. First of all, I had the surgery 2 weeks ago. I haven't listened. The only show I've listened to is yours when I'm on it. And I can listen to you beforehand a little bit. I haven't listened to the radio at all. People got to get a life.
Well, I guess it's a coincidence that you both use 41 Donut.
Well, I just thought of it literally before I started talking to you. Yeah. I had no idea. People were talking about Vikings and everything. I thought you were going to tell me Ben Lieber or something. I haven't listened to the show. It's not his fault. I've been really out of it. Drugs do that to you.
Yeah. Give me more drugs. Remember when you said that?
Exactly. That's right. That's what I got plenty of those.
Tenemy, sure. This one's for you. Is Tenemy doing a draft on the Sleeper app in the background?
Yes, I turned it off right away. Well, it's a long draft. It's a Scott Fish Bowl.
It's what now?
It's a Scott Fish Bowl. It's like one of the biggest fantasy football drafts. There's like literally tens of thousands of people in the draft. Or they're in the league, I should say. And they all get into little individual drafts. But you can make a pick every 8 hours. So
instead of having rapt attention to the show, getting ready to make your contributions, you've decided you wanted to do a Scott Fish Bowl draft.
It's a long draft. Every person has 8 hours on the clock to make a pick. I have not made a pick during the show.
Okay.
Wow.
And then Rosie doesn't pay attention either. I don't think the listeners do. And I don't even think I pay attention to the show. Is that just kind of part and parcel with the show? No one pays attention?
What do you mean not paying attention?
I don't know. It just seems like oftentimes you're not.
What'd you say?
Yeah, see, there you go.
Were you talking?
Do you think LeBron's coming here?
Probably not, but truthfully, I know that.
Are you hearing anything?
Nothing specific, because I don't think anyone knows other than, I think LeBron's probably made up his mind, but he hasn't communicated that with his agent yet. The fact that the Wolves haven't signed another power forward. I mean, I was hoping, honestly, that Hachimura was going to come here. The Wolves were going to make a real earnest. The power forward from the Lakers. The other guy played for the Lakers. Who was a free agent, who signed with the Clippers.
I'm not familiar with him.
He's a Japanese player. He's really good player. Young, 28 years old, whatever he is.
You watched him when he played for Boston College?
No, I didn't watch him. Okay. I watched him play for the Lakers quite a bit. Okay. And he's a good player, real good player. I think he got I'm pretty well. I mean, not a big. I think a $15 million contract for 1 year. I think he's put himself in a pretty good position. But the fact that the Wolves have not gone out and signed, they had that one vacancy left in their roster. God knows how long the soap opera is going to, the latest soap opera is going to last with LeBron. But the fact that there's still, people are talking, again, you talk about the national talking heads, and, the discussions do come up about, well, obviously you talk about Cleveland Cavaliers, and you hear about Golden State.
Miami. Those are the three, and then Minnesota's tossed in there as well for good measure.
Correct. But the fact that, people are laying this out, certainly the Wolves, according to Johnny Athletic's been talking about the fact that the Wolves' big pitch was that this was going to be an opportunity for LeBron to come in here with a team that's, I'm saying, ready-made, but give him the ability to win a championship here and put that mark on Minnesota on the rest of his career. The fact that he hasn't, made his mind up, I guess certainly the door's still open. Would I be shocked if he signs here? Absolutely. I absolutely would be, because I think in anyone's wildest dreams would never imagine LeBron James would come into Minnesota play. But he hands are tight. I think that's something that, I think he has a lot of respect for Chris Finch, but who knows what's going on behind the scenes. And that's something that, all we know is that LeBron's going to milk this probably as long as he possibly can, but I hope it happens this week and get it over with.
And just like you're going to milk this knee surgery as long as you possibly can.
Oh man, I wish I could, but I'm anxious to get back in my car. No, yeah. If it was going to the state fair, then I would probably say I'd be milking.
My prediction is you're going to grow so accustomed to just turning on StreamYard that you're going to go through knee rehab for the next 6 months. I'm
kind of liking this.
But I figure. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more with the legendary Mark Rosen, Tennessee and Common Man right here on The Fan.
He never worked a day in the minors. It's Mark Rosen.
I'm Common. He's tend to be the interim producer of the program, and of course, the legendary Mark Rosen, Channel 4, formerly of Channel 4 Sports fame, is with us now. Your Minnesota Twins team took 2 or 3 from the Yankees. First time they've won a series from the Yankees since 2014. The American League is record-wise is weak this year. Matter of fact, the Twins are under 5, and the Central Division is as well. The Twins are still, I think, 3 games under 500, yet they're only 3 or 4 games out of first place. And the Twins have a reputation for not standing still and sitting on their hands, of course. When they feel like they're competitive, they go out and they get players. And they've done just that. The Twins acquired Korean reliever Woo Suk Go in a trade with the Detroit Tigers for cash considerations. So now you know what? Hey, big spender, spend a little dime with me. The Twins are spending money.
Yeah.
He has never pitched. He's 27 years old. He's never pitched in the major leagues. He has an assignment clause to his contract, so he will be activated onto the Twins' 26-man roster before tonight's series opener against Cleveland at Target Field. We could see him play tonight. Now, listen to these numbers. He had a 1.96 ERA in 27 minor league games for Detroit, mostly at the Class AAA level, while totaling 54 strikeouts, 13 walks in 41 1/3 innings. He pitched in Korea's top professional league from 2017 to 2023, and he pitched 3 2/3 innings for the country in this year's World Baseball Classic. Now, he's never pitched in a big league game, but Mark, I've decided that I'm going to, I don't know if you know this, but Jim Souhan, esteemed columnist, Fish Wrap Factory Westside, is now moving on. Somebody needs to take over his spot as a Pollard pocket protector. I'm joining you and Lavelle and all the others. Well, you were one of the founding members, let's face it. Then you turned on them. But
I did.
I like this move, and I'll tell you why. Their bullpen is obviously their weakest link. Their everyday lineup, they're the most potent offense in the American League, and I believe fifth most in all of Major League Baseball. The starting staff, I mean, it's not, we're not talking about Glavine, Maddox, Smoltz, and Avery. We're not even talking Baker, Blackburn, and Radke. But it's not too bad. I mean, we know Joe Ryan is Joe Ryan. He made it an all-star game. He was brilliant the other day against the Yankees. The other Zebby Matthews has had a terrific year so far. So we got some starting. They need help in the bullpen. I know the guy's never pitched in the big leagues, but now we'll see, because you can only do so much at the minor league level, and he's been dominant there. So maybe he's one of these guys that all of a sudden he'll come up, and lo and behold, he'll be brilliant for us. He'll be the key cog in the bullpen. Of course, we'll trade him at the trade deadline at that point, but maybe we won't, and maybe this will be the spark that we need. Your thoughts?
Well, doesn't it beg the question, first of all, why the Tigers, who aren't exactly burning up the league right now, would give him away for a couple of fast food restaurant gift cards?
Well,
basically.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because the same reason why they want to trade Skubal and they want to trade the other guy, because they are not meeting the expectations that they have set. So I don't know for sure that they're going to trade Skubal, but
sure sounds like it.
Well, they'll get a boatload for him too. I mean, he's the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. I mean, he's won back-to-back Cy Youngs, I believe.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a promising future for Skubal. I'm sure their fans are very frustrated. They finally get a bona fide superstar like him, and now they look like they're going to trade him away. Yeah, the Twins bullpen, I mean, we'll see what this player Korean pitcher can come in and help the Twins bullpen out. I mean, you look at Louis Varland making the All-Star team. I think Duran's made the All-Star team as well for the National League. And I'm going, how do you let both those guys go? I mean, I know the Twins have got a couple players in return, but man, it was like, wait, how do you send that message to the clubhouse that we're trying to win when the whole Major League Baseball basically is based on how your bullpen does? So, it's fun that, right now the Twins, I watched most of those games over the week. I had nothing else to do. I'm walked in my place here, so I watched, a lot of the Twins games. That was pretty entertaining. Joe Ryan pitched a magnificent game the other day in the Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees were there booing the Yankees, and I know they bounced back last night at Tampa Bay, but they have not been playing well. But the Twins look sharp, and they had a lot of good things going for them. And so, they're home. You're right. They got Cleveland here tonight, and it's like, well, they're only 3 out of the wild card, I think, or something like that, and 4 out of first place. I don't know. You can dream, but the Twins still have to go on some kind of run here to make it interesting by when the trading deadline is. 3 weeks from now? I mean, we're getting closer. See if they're going to do anything. I don't think they'll do anything major, but it'd be nice if they were buyers for once. Just, again, not just
I think they will be. I think here's what I'll tell you why. If you believe what Tom Pohlad has said, he's admitted he's not running from the fact that the fan base has not been too pleased with Twins ownership. And he realizes that. If you were to now, all of a sudden, even if you look at the team and say, look, this team is not going to win the World Series. They might not even qualify for the playoffs, much less get to an ALCS or the divisional round or even qualify. But because the American League is down, the Central Division is down, and you are trying to extend an olive branch to the fans, what better way to do it than say, you know what, instead of trading Jeffers, instead of trading Ryan, let's us go out and get a guy, maybe not just for this year, but for the future as well. If you are serious, if you are a man of your words and say you want Twins baseball to be relevant again, then that's exactly what you do here. And I'm going to take him at his word, and I think they're going to be buyers rather than sellers. I think that's what they're going to do. And they should.
They should. 100% they should. I guess they're sending the message not just to the fans, but the clubhouse and everyone associated with the baseball team. And it's not as if they have to go out and sign try to get a Skubal. They're not obviously going to do that. But they can get a pitcher that can help, in the 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, or maybe even more than that. I don't think their everyday lineup. I think Jeffers is supposed to be coming back. I think he's been in St. Paul, hasn't he, for the last week or so?
Correct.
So, and that's, that'll be a welcome addition to have his bat in that lineup and his ability behind the plate. Getting him back will be, like making a trade. Just made that up. But, it's going to be nice. And I think this is an opportunity to go get a pitcher that you can at least sell to the fan base that, hey, we got someone that can help us, that maybe the next Louis Varland or something, whatever it might be. Just make a positive move. And I think the Twins are in a position right now that I don't think any of us expected them to be. And a lot of it has to do with, as you've talked about, the mediocrity in the American League right now, and even in their own division. In fact, the White Sox, the Chicago White Sox are in first place right now, and Cleveland's right behind them. And that's stunning. And that tells you where they are right now with the rest of baseball. And, we know what's going to be happening probably next year. There may not be there may be a lockout, but let's not worry about that. You got to worry about right now. And you're trying to get fans back in the stands right now. We're in the middle of summer. We got great weather. They're coming off a good series against the Yankees. Make it worth their while to come off to the ballpark. That's all. It's pretty easy to do.
This is directed at you, Tenemy. It says, you got to be a who's who to get into the Scott Fishbowl League. Is that true? Do you have to be somebody important? It sounds like you must be somebody, because it says you have to be a who's who to get in.
No. I mean,
no?
They definitely have, basically like anyone who is a fantasy football expert or influencer in the business is in it. And then there's also people that can just randomly be in as rubes, basically. Technically, I'm on the radio, so I guess I would be considered one of the... I don't think I'd be an expert. But.
I think you're an expert. I think you're the Paul Charchian of the fan.
You have to go through an interview process or something to get in?
No. It's not that. It's not some secret...
You are having an experience that's not unlike that of Paul Charchian, Fantasy Football Week.
I always love that one.
Charch is in it.
Of course he is.
Yeah, he is.
Did I ever tell you I was in Charch's Fantasy Football League? I think I've recanted.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
You have talked about
I wished I was in the Fishbowl League. No, I don't.
Well,
I don't like fantasy football. But there you go. Mark, do you do fantasy football, or you?
I did last year when I
you did?
Signed up with Talk North Sports. We had our own kind of fantasy football league over there. That's the first time I was involved with the draft. If it wasn't for Kevin Gore, I would have had no idea how to do this. And I go back to before they probably were using computers the way they do to help. They help basically pick your team if you don't pick someone up on the clock.
I'm also told that without Kevin Gore's help, you would have had no idea who Wyndham Clark is. You called him Wendell Clark, and you picked him only because you heard the guys talking about
Number one, I called him. I did that because Wendell Clark was a hockey player, and I was thinking of Kevin Gore, and it was a hockey player for Toronto. And I called him Wyndham like 10 times. You called him Corey
Wendell
loves
Clark.
To pick on me for picking him the wrong name, as if.
And then
I wouldn't get into it.
So if it wouldn't have been for Gorgon Cove talking about him during the break, you would not have taken Wyndham Clark. So
that's not true.
Are you going to give any of your winnings to them?
I had 5 names listed on my little cheat sheet, and one of them was Clark.
Okay.
That was,
Why do these guys in the morning show want to constantly pick on you?
Because have you heard their show lately?
No, you apparently haven't either. You said you
haven't either. So I don't know. Corey's a weird dude, man. I don't know what to tell you. He's just what he is. As long as they're mentioning my name, they miss me. That's fine. I don't know. It doesn't bother me at all.
Sounds like maybe you and Kove, there's a wedge in your relationship. Well, you just said he's a weird person.
He is. You've been around. We got some really weird people that work at the station, including you. But, I mean, he's out there. I mean, he's definitely out there.
When you're thinking weird, you just need to take a look in the mirror. Trust me.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
We'll take a break, come back, one more segment to go with the legendary Mark Rosen, along with Teneby and Common Man right here on The Fan.
You're listening to The Common Man with Mark Rosen on The Fan.
The Fan.
I'm Common. He's Teneby. Mark Rosen here as well. Rosie, the Lynx spent the first half of the season waiting for Fee in Juhas, I think Dorka is the name, to return to action.
Right.
Juhas, I think, returned last night, but they ended up losing Olivia Miles, the rookie point guard, sidelined with a right calf strain. They get beat last night by... I think UConn, great game with Sarah Spain. She just said that UConn, are they the worst team in the league or one of the, I think she described them as lowly. She described it as the lowly. They win. It's only a point and it's only one game. That's 2 in a row they've lost. But Tenneby had asked me earlier during 534, is there anything that concerns you more than something else what concerns you most about the Lynx loss? And I think it would be the loss of Miles, in particular if it's more than just Tenneby, I think, said she missed part of the first loss 2 games ago, and then she was out all of last game. If she's out, she's already in the running for MVP of the league, Rookie of the Year. She's changed this team. The Lynx and the latest power rankings, I think they just dropped to like 3rd, but and I think it was because of one of the losses. It was the power rankings came out before last night's game, but they were like ranked as the number 1 team in the WNBA, and I think due in large part to Olivia Miles. So if the calf injury is one of those that lingers, that would be your biggest concern, right? Because she's been just spectacular in her rookie
I would
season.
agree with that. She's the playmaker now. She runs the ship, as they say. And those we've seen with calf injuries, no matter what sport we're talking about, they can be rather pesky, especially for someone pushing off and stopping and starting. As much as Olivia Miles is in her ability to change direction of things that she does that makes her such an outstanding player. So I think, the Lynx, I'm sure, being extra cautious with her. The last thing you want to do is get her back and rush her back and get her back. And then all of a sudden she aggravates it. She's off for 3 weeks. We keep waiting for Lafisa Collier to come back. I think it was supposed to be in July sometime. And we're obviously still pretty early in the month. But her addition will, I think, make not that the Lynx aren't already, legitimate contenders to win the WNBA championship, but getting feedback and getting her back in the mix and getting her to play with Olivia would be paramount to the postseason success that they have. But I think they'll be in good shape either way. But yeah, they've done Cheryl's done a great job of kind of retooling that whole lineup after losing a number of players in the expansion draft and drafting Miles, and they had a chance to get another player. They went with her, and she's turned out to be a kind of a franchise changing type of player that's got a lot of amazing years ahead of her, considering she's only a rookie. So yeah, it's a nice problem to have. But it's still disappointing they lost the game last. I'm sure Cheryl wasn't happy playing at home to a team. Doesn't matter if you're shorthanded. Team that's won, I think, 5 or 6 games this year, and you lost to them at home they were down most of the game. I think the Lynx rallied late and made it close, but they didn't perform as well as they needed to.
You like this Lynx team, though, I think, a lot.
Well, I like what she's got a formula in mind, and the players have all bought into what she's selling, and there's a reason why Cheryl Reeve just went in the Basketball Hall of Fame, and she's done it with so many different lineups, so many different players, superstars, not superstars, role players, and she's done it all. And so this might be, I'm not saying her biggest achievement if she were to win a championship this year with this team, given the changes they've gone through, given the fact that Nafisa Collier's missed most of the year. For them to come back and win it would really be, comparing it to the championship years that they won when they had that nucleus of the superstar players, and not taking away from Cheryl, but it's just that you had a lot of talent on that team. This would be a real big accomplishment. I think the league is better right now. They have some really good teams out there. And I think the rivalries, we see it, in the league right now. And I think that more attention is being paid to the WNBA. And I think the Lynx have an opportunity. That's all I can ask for. But probably they got to get feedback, hopefully sooner than later.
Getting back to World Cup soccer in general, and specifically the United States, President Donald Trump called the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, in the hours after the United States men's soccer team played. He asked the president, the United States president, asked the FIFA president to review the suspension of the team's their top goal scorer, Flo Belligan, after he was given a red card. Sunday, FIFA reversed the suspension. They announced that Belligan would be eligible to play against Belgium. He did. He did make a difference. Just your thoughts on the president intervening. It benefited the United States from the fact that maybe their best offensive player was going to be allowed to play, even though he wasn't a factor in the game. Just your thoughts on what transpired.
Well, it's just wrong. I don't think whether it's the Congress, the president, anyone should interfere with, poke their nose into. When you start doing that, you really create a slippery slope when it comes to sports in general, or how do you pick your spots, Why are you getting involved with this? And more than anything, it shows how corrupt FIFA is. I mean, boy, if you think that what happened with the U.S. was, going on, and then how everyone else was receiving it, Egypt today they were going bananas. They basically said after their match that, why are they wasting everyone's time by having us show up? Just give Argentina the championship again and we can all go home. If they had a call, it was reversed and everything else. So FIFA's got all these other issues anyway with it. We talk about officiating in all the sports that we watch. The NBA, oh man, the NBA's all rigged and this is going on. It pales by comparison to what we're seeing right now with World Cup soccer and the people's opinions they're entrenched. But I don't think President Trump, I don't think anyone should be calling the director of the thing, especially when that happened. And I don't think Belgium used it to fuel them. I don't think they needed to, because listen, they know they were better than the U.S. They beat them in a friendly match like 3 months ago, 5-2, I think. And I don't think they took the field last night, or the pitch in Seattle, thinking, oh man, we're in trouble. They got Balogun playing again.
Well, they may have still used it as like we talk about bulletin board material all the time to teams. Really, if all of a sudden some player says, they rip another club. Like, for instance, I can't remember who it was. Somebody for Washington football a number of years ago, the last year when Brady played for Tampa Bay. Washington won a game. That defensive player, and his name escapes me, as he was trotting off the field, he was the microphone picked him up saying, I want Tom. I want Tom. He wanted Tom Brady. Anytime you want somebody or ask for something, people will use that. It seems like athletes in general are always looking to put a chip on their shoulder, some extra added incentive. I think that may have given them some extra added incentive. Whether it would have made a difference or not, I don't know. Right, it didn't hurt, I don't think.
Yeah, I just think I think when we start mixing politics and sports and presidents getting involved, and I mean, it's just like, no, just don't make the phone call. Please don't. I mean, there's a reason. I mean, as flawed as that rule was, and that there was no appeal process, then why is he playing? I mean, I don't agree with it. I didn't agree with the call. But I don't know the intricacies of all that. But in the meantime, there's no appeal process for the red card. He's missing this next game. That's what happens. If you get 2 yellow cards, you get a red card, and you're out for the next game. I mean, it's just we're learning about all these rules all over again. But I don't think that should have been rescinded at that point. I didn't agree with it, but I don't think it should have been rescinded. He should have missed the game. That's it. End of story. Don't pick up the phone.
Well, it does make it more difficult to take any of this World Cup soccer stuff seriously, right?
I know.
Because it seems like there was some kind of a connection between the two presidents of FIFA in the United States, and then Howard Lutnick, whatever the commerce guy, he has some kind of a connection with it too, and it's almost like, okay, yeah, you're right, and hey, we're pals, so you know what, and it was questionable, and so they reversed it. But I'm with you.
You just got to keep your nose out of it. I mean, you got to know your place, and that's where it's a real dangerous.
But when you're talking about Trump, he's not going to. That's like talking to a wall. He's going to do whatever he wants to do, and he felt that was the thing to do. So,
you can pick up the phone, but doesn't mean that FIFA needed to listen to him either.
That would be the thing. It should be.
That's the problem I have, is that don't say, listen, thank you, sir, for consideration and your opinion, but rules are rules. We're sticking to it, and he's not going to play. That's just it. End of story.
Yeah,
that's all you need to say.
In the getting back to, want to talk about LeBron again for a second. Hasn't decided where he wants to play. Everywhere I read, it's some writer or fans or whatever for almost every NBA city, maybe with the exception of Oklahoma City and San Antonio, because I think they're probably saying, we don't need LeBron, we're just fine. Everybody else wants to make a case to why this is the best place for LeBron to be, right? We've seen it here. Why Krasinski put a very compelling piece together about why it would be a good fit here. You have Ball and Edwards, and so now you don't have to be the main scorer. You have Jade McDaniels, so now you don't have to be the main defender. You have Gobert to rebound, so you don't have to be the main rebounder. You can still contribute to all of those places, but it's not like you need to be the guy every game in, game out. But there are many other teams across the league that can make the same type of arguments. And so, and now a development in Denver, it says, Joker reiterated his hope to remain with the Denver Nuggets for the rest of his career. Three-time NBA MVP spoke to reporters after helping Serbia to a win over Bosnia-Herzegovina during a FIBA World Cup qualifying game. He said he wants to wait till next summer, but he does want to finish there. And so then you wonder, would Denver be a nice place for LeBron? LeBron and Joker, along with Murray, that'd be a pretty nice spot as well. So
I guess so.
Everybody can make their, LeBron, obviously, even at age 42, I think he's going to be 42, he was still pretty productive last year. He can still play. I mean, it's not as though well, this guy's, he's a 10-minute-a-game player now. He's just there more for window dressing than anything else. So I think most teams could benefit from him, and he's going to pretty much, I think, have his pick of the litter. Wherever he wherever he wants to play, he will play.
Yeah, and I think he made a little presentation ahead of time saying this is what I'm thinking about. It's not about the money, obviously. He's not going to get paid that much for this particular season, but I mean he's a once in a lifetime type of player. Be able to play whatever sport you're thinking about. We saw Tom Brady over the age of 40. They'd be able to be at that level still. No, he's not going to have to score 30 points a game. He's not going to play 48 minutes. He's not, whatever it might be, but he's still going to be able to make your team better. And he's going to be that kind of a draw. And LeBron James on a Timberwolves team with Ant and LaMelo Ball and McDaniels, man, they'd sell out every game with that group. They absolutely would be on national TV, 30 times, 40 times. Whoever LeBron goes to, that team's going to be on national. If it goes back to Cleveland, it's going to be on. It's going to be about LeBron. As if we're not over OD'd on LeBron news as it is when you watch the big networks, sports network. It's going to be even more so because of the fact he's left LA, and now he's going to go back either try to win another title with Cleveland, go out with Steph, and try to win a title again with Golden State. And that's the one thing I think that the Timberwolves are trying to sell him on is that the Timberwolves haven't won a championship. You go to Cleveland, they've won. You won it there. Golden State, they've won, 4? I don't know. And no matter where you go, they've won titles, basically. You have a chance to do something and put yourself, make your mark on a franchise, in a state that hasn't won a championship, male championship, since 1991. I don't think he's necessarily thinking about that.
No,
I don't think
I was going to say, I think that's part of it would be would have the least effect on his decision. Yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah, probably. But I hope, and this is why you cannot take, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Everything you want to read. If you're paying attention on social media to the LeBron saga, everybody's got an opinion about it. My sources say this, and this. No, nobody knows.
What's your level of concern that the Wild have not been able to address the number one center situation here? Well, Larkin apparently still is. He has 3 teams he said he'd like to play for. It seems like right now Detroit is in no hurry to trade him. They've got him for 5 more years too, so it's not like they are. It's not like, well, if he comes back this year, we risk losing him as a free agent. Of course, you don't want to bring back a player who doesn't want to be there. But if Yzerman thinks we're not getting fair market value for a player of Larkin's ability, we're just going to hang on to him. What are your thoughts on that whole situation?
The fact they've lost Marcus Johansson and they've lost a couple other players, they didn't bring back, is concerning because, you can think, well, they're going to have to, the Brinks of the world are going to have to step up and play at a higher level. I mean, they have to find a way of filling these gaps that they're now missing on this hockey team. Yeah, I mean, it's just Larkin can't decide, hey, I'm going to come here. I'm just going to go play with Kirill Kaprizov, and we're going to be a dynamic duo. It's not his choice. I mean, he basically has done everything but set himself on fire to get out of Detroit. But now it's at the point where, it's only, again, it's early July. We've seen this this could drag on for weeks yet, but for quite a while. But I like to think something's going to get settled sooner than later. But they got to get Hughes signed as well, which sounds like they've been directing their attention more and more to getting that done. Which I don't think is going to be. I think of course there's always going to be some negotiations going on, but that sounds like it's a lot more of a sure thing than getting Larkin away from the Detroit Red Wings.
Hypothetical question for you. Your choice is either spend 3 hours with meat sauce or do 100 deep knee bends. Which one would you rather do?
Oh, man. What was the first part of that? 100 what?
Spend 3 hours with meat sauce or do 100 deep knee bends.
3 hours with meat sauce.
Oh, I thought for sure.
10 out of 10 times.
Oh, I thought you
That's not as painful as doing all those knee bends right now. I'm trying, believe me. I added that to my repertoire yesterday after my physical therapist went after me with those. So we're adding that to my home exercise program. But they're not fun right now. I grab my hands on the outside of the sink and kind of do those bends,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
You're a tough guy.
All I can tell you is, yeah, I know, but Paul, if you're listening, he's my physical therapist. I'm doing them, okay? So he's been very impressed with my work ethic. So
I'd rather do the deep knee bends than spend 3 hours with meat sauce. Because trust me, I've spent 3 hours.
You spent a lot of hours with meat sauce.
I have.
I know. I miss meat sauce.
You do?
I kind of do. I do. Yeah. The Lambert family is very special to me.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. 100%. And Louis.
Getting a little emotional.
No, I don't see him very often anymore.
What's for dinner tonight?
We're having, we got relatives coming over. Connor's brother. Yeah, and her niece who's out teaching and her boyfriend from Hungary. They're all coming over. They're in town right now, so we're just going to get pizza from nearby place.
Isn't that funny? He's from Hungary, and he'll probably be hungry.
He'll be hungry. Yeah.
It's a good idea to have him over.
So Taria's coming over. Yeah, we're going to have a little family thing tonight, so I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, very good. And then I'm assuming you'll be back tomorrow, right? Courtesy of StreamYard?
Yeah, if you want me to be, it's up to you.
Oh, I'd love to.
I'll have to call in if you want me to call in for a segment or two.
Well, I'd mentioned that I'm going to interview Jim Messina here in early August. He's coming to play at the
oh, really?
At the are you familiar with him?
Are you talking about Loggins and Messina?
Yeah. So Jim Messina is going to come to town, and he's going to he's agreed to do an interview. And instead of airing the whole interview, because not all of our listeners know who he is, and we're a sports station, so what I'll probably do is interview him, play one question and answer on the air, and then invite people to go to the podcast to listen to it. JG suggests that I should do that with you now. Just do an off-air interview with you, play one answer on the air, and then direct people to the podcast.
Great idea, JG.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Why is he like that? Why would he say something like that?
JG's...
he's a lot like Corey. He's a weird person.
No,
don't you think?
No. There's different variations of weird, but no. Quirky is probably the word I should have used for Corey more than.
You think he's weird. Quirky? Do you think JG's
quirky? Weird? No. I mean, listen. Anybody who gets into this business, especially radio, and I've worked with everyone in this market basically over the last how many years, you better have a lot of quirkiness to you or weirdness to you. That's not a knock.
It's not?
That's a way of...
I took it that way if I was Cole.
Oh, no. That's, in order to succeed in this business with all the egos and everything that goes on, you have to kind of find your own little pathway. And there, a lot of that involves quirkiness, being a little weird, a little off. I mean, going back to, listen, I worked with Sid and Steve Cannon. And
were they both quirky and weird?
Sid? My God.
Cannon,
don't get me started. Cannon, too? Yeah. I mean, who else could come up with talking, they have 4 different characters at the same time sitting in your studio? That's weird. That's quirky. Yeah. That's genius.
You think it is?
Yeah. Nobody could do it like old Steve-O.
Oh, no one could. And no one could do it like the old Mark Rosen.
Nah, I don't
Still bringing the heat.
I'm going to go do some knee bends now.
You do some knee bends. We'll talk to you tomorrow about 2 o'clock, all right?
All right, thanks.
Take care. That's the legendary one, Mark Rosen. Teneby, thanks for having me, and just want to say to the audience, you're welcome.